What's up, YouTube? What's going on? Welcome to Derek Jones Talks Live. This is another live stream put out by this channel for fun purposes, educational purposes. Sometimes, a lot of the times, educating you, not necessarily on quantum physics or things like that, but sometimes we're educating you on who to be cautious of, who to watch out for in this YouTube world, in these YouTube streets. Anybody who puts "row" on the back of anything that they're doing, watch out for that individual. Probably a fucking clown ass fuck nigga who looks at other guys' booties, especially when they wear feelers. What's going on today, YouTube? Tulsa Fig, welcome, welcome. Triple C D. Everybody's here. Everybody that I want here anyway. Is just about here. You know we only talking to 40 people, y'all. So you can't forget that. Today we will be talking about and discussing Dissecting Gillz Pharoah hate deflection. Yes. This individual who claimed a month ago that he is no longer talking about these things and he has moved past this HOK stuff and he's on the bigger and better things like Kanika Jenkins clickbait shit and stuff like that. So anyway, this Wi-Fi hustler has been moving on. So he says, changing his platform to do other things. So anyway, any hoops. Seems that it's been slipping in polite videos here and a Sonetta video there. I didn't say nothing when you did the Sonetta video. I was gonna, but I didn't say anything for real. Like, I was like, I know this nigga is not doing a bang video on Sonetta when Sonetta totally obliterated your whole credibility as far as anybody who's a reasonably sane, rational adult. Like anyone who's a reasonably sane, rational adult clearly can see and know that this individual is completely full of shit. Now, this is just my opinion. I don't want anybody to think that I'm giving a foregone conclusion as far as facts go. This is just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So don't, just hold me to just it being my opinion and the opinion of most people who come in contact with him. Like pretty much everybody who's come in contact with him. Now, anyway, this guy did a video after Sonetta exposed him. And the way Sonetta did it was actually artful. He waited until he came through and warned him, and then the warning gassed him up because the warning was public. He came right on one of his live streams and called him out and called him out, and told him, hey, from here on out, you need to watch your fucking mouth. Basically, I'm paraphrasing here, people. Don't, hold me to being actual, verbatim, but I'm paraphrasing. Sonetta came to his platform and pretty much said, hey, listen, you better watch the fuck you say, because I got your dumb ass. All the conversations you and I have been having, I have all those conversations. So while you're up here talking shit about me, telling the world how you're banging on me, telling the world how, the HOK is falling and it's a fraud nation and all they do is this, then the third. You in the back, kiki and ha, and man, I ain't never think you was no fraud, Sarnetta. I loved you, Sarnetta. I love you. Love was thrown around. The word love, yes, the actual word love. Okay. Yes, where's the rest of that audio? See, that's a lot of times on my page, you know, we catch a lot of heat over here because people say you bring up old stuff. It's not necessarily that I'm bringing up old stuff. It's the fact that I'm bringing up stuff that has yet to be resolved. There's been no closure here. Like when I talk about Polite, one of the sticklers, the first thing I always say is, what happened to that police brutality, broad street sweeping campaign that you were supposed to go on? Nigga, it wasn't even no t-shirts for it printed. See what I'm saying? There you go. See, that's why he's been quiet, because Annetta said, yo, I got you by the balls. The only response that I ever seen from this nigga was, real funny, Sarnetta, real funny. And then he starts going into his Michael Edwards, like, tape recording is a felony and a blah blah across state lines. Now he's all for the United States government judicial system. 1 minute he a revolutionary, whatever the fuck, in Aboriginal Mexican, and then now fighting for the freedom of the Mexicans. Viva la raza. Then the next thing you know, when a nigga catch him on YouTube saying some completely contradictory shit to them, what you just got finished saying, now all of a sudden, like Michael Edwards, you've taken steps and measures. I've taken steps and measures through my attorney as well as YouTube, and his niggas be getting all mad as shit about these pages. That nigga caught your stupid ass on the fucking audio saying how you really felt, and you was dumb because you're a fraud. So if you're a fraud, you should have never talked about how you really felt, nigga. You're a fucking fraud. What a fucking clown. But anyway, we're going to get into the deflector, the Mick deflector. You know what I'm saying? The big Mick out there. And his little, what's one Ronald McDonald's henchman, one of his little buddies and shit. He got one up there. It's just a king buddy. We're also going to talk about, I don't know if you guys have heard, but or seen it yet, but young Pharoah put out a mixtape last night. He put, I guess it's the whole thing, because he flooded the YouTube with it. And so, in honor of young Pharoah being the topic of discussion, well, part of the topic, because he's not really the topic, but he's part of it, topic of discussion, you know, tonight, we're going to have a mixtape listen. We're going to listen to at least 2 or 3 of his songs here throughout the show and let him get some spin over here on Derek Jones Talks Live. I'm going to take my wallet out of my pocket. So we're going to get into that too, you know. Also, last week we were talking, right? Remember about RFG Chosen and Chosen One and his claims of fuckery at Brother Sanchez. Now, it's not necessarily the fact that it's just he's claiming that, hey man, I think Pharoah won the debate and this, that, and the third. It's not necessarily just that per se. It's the fact that the brother claims to know Sanchez. Not only know him from the fact of working with him. Like, I'm around you, so I know that you're capable of this shit. Like, this is the type of shit you're capable of. Not to mention, now is it, and I'm going to ask the question just to the chat, is it a YouTube rumor or is it true that Sanchez has done this before? Meaning, he's been AKA porn bombed before. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't the first time when he's doing something on his show, all of a sudden here comes some porn, and or to distract from whatever the fuck's happening on the show. So we're gonna talk about that just for a second. You know, we're not gonna go too far into it because we got a lot of handling of this Deflector, and I want to do some talking over this sister who got murdered, brutally murdered by some unemployed, useless fucks who heard she got some money back, some measly ass $7 grand from a fucking income tax return, and ended up murdering this fucking girl for that. And so we're gonna get into that as well. Fucking clowns. That's just the worst right there, yo. Like, you, come on, G. But that's what I be saying, yo. These unemployed YouTubers, these unemployed niggas, they'll do anything for bread, yo. They'll do anything for that fucking money. This track right here on Young Pharoah's mixtape is called Jumping Back.
The house where I grew up and where I stayed with her. And I started drinking before I was able to. They tried to come and make a dream, they wasn't able to. They killed our leader trying to stop, they wasn't able to. When I got knocked, it was not about nothing. When I got out, I had to block back, jump. I don't do this for the same thing. Liberation of easy. I don't do this for no teeth. People really come and see, okay, baby running around with chop. Tell me what it was at lane a couple centuries ago. Yeah, they would have fed up to some pocket to who said it on the side. But that's not about nothing. Less than 60 years later, yeah, I got a right back jump. When we did stop, but that ain't about nothing. They killed Malcolm, but I got a back jump. And real hip hop, that ain't about nothing. They killed Pop, but I got a back jump. I'm talking big about my people, I'ma see about you. Yeah, that's what it gotta be. My people, I ain't gonna leave without you. Hit the spot, brother, that ain't about nothing. Just hit a lick, but I got us back, jump.
Flat the fuck out. Flat the fuck out. Sanchez, you can fool all these other motherfuckers, but you can't fool me. You can't fool me. You know what I'm saying? I know you. I know the real you.
This is RFG The Chosen. That song you just heard from Young Pharoah was Jump Back. And this brother right here seems to be in complete support of Young Pharoah when it comes to this whole Brother Sanchez situation. Now, again, for those of you who do not know, Young Pharoah and Brother Sanchez had a debate the other day, last week. And I heard the debate was kind of going okay, typical debates, how they go on YouTube, until some shit happened, and here we go. So accusations have been made. I have been talking about this for a while, but throughout the course of breaking my phone and getting a new phone, and this new phone is a better phone, but to me it's not better. So I've been trying to put shit out and not being able to do it the way I want to do it. So now that I got everything right and everything in order. I'm ready to actually go into it just a little bit because the accusations that he made, it still has me like in a space between, so to speak. Meaning, the claims kind of sound outlandish, man. Like they kind of sound fairy tale-ish. They kind of sound a lot like just bitching. You know, like you're complaining because you really didn't think that you were getting the response that you wanted, or you weren't getting the situation wasn't unfolding the way that you expected it to. Now that's what it kind of sounds like. But then the reason why I'm caught is because you make okay, let me say it like this. It sounds outlandish and it sounds bitchy because of the things that you're saying. It's like, how could you prove that? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, dude, you just saying that shit. There's no possible way you could prove that shit. There's no possible way you could show even that that's plausible, that this person would do such a thing or whatever the case may be. Then he switches it up and starts to go into how he knows this person personally and his character. So that makes me wonder, like, well, wait a minute. You're what is called a witness with personal firsthand knowledge who can attest to this person's character. So it's like now you have to kind of listen to it. Now you still have to be skeptical because you have to realize that, okay, are you saying this because you know him and you had a situation with him that didn't end well and you had your own feelings about how that situation should have and could have ended up? So now it's like it's his fault. And you fuck with young Pharoah, so blah, 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 blah. But then that would be like assuming that his character is fucked up. So I can't do that either. That's why it's like this one kind of has me caught in a space between.
What's good, people? It's RFG back at it today. And it's going to be a real quick video. I just got done watching the debate between young Pharoah and Bro Sanchez. And it was a very heated debate up until about the third round. And in my opinion, Pharoah was actually winning the debate 2 rounds to 1. Okay, 2 rounds to 1. Then as Pharoah was getting ready to put the dagger in Sanchez's chest, all of a sudden a porno pops on the screen, and then the debate is canceled. So at that moment, I knew something was wrong. It couldn't be, you know what I'm saying? The shit couldn't be right. So I started thinking, and I'm like, damn, I know Pharoah wouldn't do no shit like that because, I mean, let's keep it 100. Let's keep the shit 100. Pharoah has 2 wives, and Pharoah has females basically trying to throw themselves at him all day. So why the fuck would a person like Pharoah put a porno of 2 white people having sex on his computer screen as he's getting ready to beat Bro Sanchez in a debate? So I started to put 2 and 2 together in my head, and I came to the conclusion of what the fuck happened. And I know what happened. Bro Sanchez paid somebody off to hack into young Pharoah's computer on his IP address, okay, to put the image of the porno on young Pharoah's computer. It was either one of the two. Either Sanchez put the porno up himself on his screen, or he had somebody hack into young Pharoah's computer to put the porno on young Pharoah's screen, just in case young Pharoah started to embarrass him and started to beat him. You see what I'm saying? So this was complete fuckery at its finest.
Now, that is one of the first claims that he makes that I say, okay, you know, for that to be true, the only way, now, RFG, I don't know the young brother, I'm going to just say it like this. The only way for that to be true, RFG, is that he had to have already had this shit set up. Okay, that cannot be no by happenstance shit. Oh, yo, oh, here you come right here. Good. I'm glad you showed up. Yo, go do this and send some porn to, like, that had to be already planned. So as soon as he came to, that's assuming, and that's saying, insinuating that Brother Sanchez came to the debate completely in a manner that was disingenuous to everyone who was listening, to everyone who was going to participate, young Pharoah and the people who were calling in and participating. He was fucking over everybody then because nothing about it was going to be real.
Utter disbelief of what I just saw. In that debate, Bro Sanchez got caught in about 3 or 4 lies. Bro Sanchez got so desperate, he even made up the lie and said that Delbert Blair was a flat earther. Sanchez got caught in a lie and said that Delbert Blair, he said that Delbert Blair was a flat earther, and we all know that that's a motherfucking lie. So as Sanchez kept getting caught in lies, okay, he got caught into about the 4th lie, and Pharoah was about to put the knife in his motherfucking heart. Okay, Sanchez had one of his bum-ass friends hack into Pharoah's computer and put an image of 2 white people fucking on young.
Now, that is some significant power. That is some significant power that Sanchez had. Brother Sanchez, you have the power. You like He-Man on this shit. You have the power. You could just have someone hack into someone's shit at will. On some real shit, Brother Sanchez should be having more and more debates because he could just hack into anybody he's debating shit and make them look bad. But that claim right there is just, yeah, kind of, it's a little too much, man.
Pharaoh's computer. Okay, so that would divert the attention away from the debate, and the debate would get canceled. You see what I'm
saying? Now, yes, I see what you're saying. What up, L Boogie? I see what you're saying. Yes, that's true. That would divert people's attention. But at the same time, man, come on. Like, hacking into someone's computer to divert their attention over a fucking meaningless debate that nobody's even getting paid for. It's not even like it's a building that anybody rented and did anything. Brother Sanchez, L Boogie, they're claiming that Sanchez had someone hack into young Pharoah's computer during the debate and crash the debate in the form of throwing up porn to divert everyone's attention, and then ultimately having people basically disengage from the debate because of what happened, et cetera, et cetera. Like, yeah, like somebody did it. And thank you for saying that, Triple C. He dropped the Hangout link to whoever did it, which means someone did it and someone dropped the link. And I've been meaning to say this for a long time about this little situation. There's no fucking way that you don't know who's in your Hangout. Again, there's no way you don't know who's in your Hangout. For all those who run YouTube pages, they know and do live streams. We don't know who the fuck you are pretending to be, and or who are you actually are behind that fucking icon. But nobody knows that. But we know who the fuck is in there saying who you are. If you're in there, your page says Ace number 1, nigga. Yo, whoever Ace number 1 is on YouTube and whatever email address is attached to that, etc., is the one who did that shit. But to be completely clueless. Everybody is, nah, I ain't do it. I don't know, and you don't know, and this person doesn't know. That shit seems a little fucking weird on both sides.
And I know this sounds far-fetched, but
yes,
I know who
does.
Sanchez is as a person.
Okay.
I've worked with Sanchez.
Now, this is where it starts to get interesting. I want you guys to actually listen again, and then we're going to move on. But this is where it gets interesting because he's actually he's given something, some teeth to his claim.
For 2 years, okay, I started out doing videos on YouTube, okay, partially with bro Sanchez. So I know this guy's demeanor. You see what I'm saying? I know his character. I know how he acts. His pride is so fucking high. He'd rather pull some shit like that than to just take the loss. You see?
Now, that is running rampant around YouTube right now. That is running rampant. The pride, these prideful people who can't handle some sort of YouTube defeat or some sort of, let me say this like this, man. There's nothing I'm doing in my life that I could be so embarrassed of that I can't show my face on YouTube. First off, YouTube wouldn't be that valuable to me for me to care enough. I just stopped making videos. So that would be that. I wouldn't have to save my face. Like, it's not like a million people know who the fuck I am on YouTube. No one knows who I am up here for real. So it's like, but some people take this shit serious. I told y'all before, when you got these dudes who don't do shit all day, all they do is push a YouTube page, yo, they work for Google. And Google wants activity generated to the page so that they could slap commercials up there. That's their job, to generate activity to their page so Google could slap commercials up there and charge people for the commercials because of the activity to the page. That's it. That's the game. So their game is what? Their deal is to create activity. They must create activity. How do they do that? They do that by being what we see, by seeing what happens. We see beefs. We see fake beefs, like what we're going to go over today with allegedly Campbell, Hassan Bambaataa, and the fucking Wi-Fi hustler out there. Niggas wearing jewelry on a YouTube, wearing rings and a piece of chain on a fucking YouTube channel while streaming off of McDonald's customer-friendly Wi-Fi and shit. Like, you get this type of shit. People who's just trying to push anything to be famous. Pushing anything to internet soap opera. They create it. But then it goes far. It goes further than that sometimes. It goes further than that sometimes. Yo, we gotta let people know who the fuck these people are, yo.
I'm saying, then to just man up, grow a pair, and take the loss. But no, he had to pull some fuck shit. Sanchez had to hire some motherfucking some hacker, a professional hacker, to hack into young Pharoah's computer and put a fucking porno on young Pharoah's computer.
Now, that claim right there, Brother Sanchez, you would have to be the dumbest motherfucker on earth. And I'm going to say this in all respect to you, Sanchez. Let me clarify this. That's if this statement that he just made is true. If you have the ability to hire professional hackers, and the best thing that you could come up with them and have them do for you is attack young Pharoah on a flat earth debate, If that is the truth, you are indeed the dumbest man on the fucking in the world. No longer Michael Edwards.
Young Pharoah.
Oh, shout out to Michelle Edwards, who came and spoke to me in the chat. What's up, baby? How you doing?
Was getting ready to fucking demolish Bro Sanchez because once again, motherfucking Sanchez didn't have no motherfucking historical facts, no motherfucking forensic facts, and no motherfucking scientific facts to prove his motherfucking model. And Pharoah was blowing his shit out of the fucking water. Okay? And Pharoah caught Sanchez in about at least 3 fucking lies where Sanchez intentionally cherry-picked his information to fit his narrative in the debate. Okay? So Sanchez got embarrassed. Bro Sanchez got embarrassed. Okay? And as he knew he was going to lose the debate, he had one of his motherfucking buddies hack into young Pharoah. Somehow they got his IP address. How they did that, I have no fucking clue. So by Sanchez getting Pharoah's IP address, that's how they were able to put the porno image on Pharoah's screen. Because like I said, I'm not a dumbass. Pharoah's not going to have no fucking slide of a porno up while he's doing a fucking debate with tens of thousands of people watching. I'm not a fucking idiot. So, you know what I'm saying? Bro Sanchez, that, you know, it really sucks that, you know what I'm saying, that I have to keep saying your name because that really sucks. You know what I'm saying? Because when you talk about, you know what I'm saying, your information and my information, you know what I'm saying? My information is backed with historical data that can be proven. My information can be backed.
Know that means authors, everybody. He's talking about authors. Not to I digress, but know that that's what he means. Authors.
With forensic evidence that can be proven. My information can be backed with scientific evidence that can be proven. Same thing goes for young Pharoah. You see what I'm saying? So Sanchez, what you just pulled was some fuck ass shit. Some fuck ass shit. And like I said, if you got a problem with it, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, you can see me in person. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Flat the fuck out. Flat the fuck out. Sanchez, you can fool all these other motherfuckers, but you can't fool me. You can't fool me. You know what I'm saying? I know you. I know the real you. Just know.
Now, I want you guys to listen to the anger in his voice. Okay? Yeah, D Prince, because we've been there with somebody before who you like, nah, nigga, that you full of shit. I know you. I know you.
Know that. You can hide behind a motherfucking computer screen. You can hide behind this motherfucking internet. But just know, I know who really is. I know who really is. Just know that. And I know you's a motherfucking con artist. I know you's a motherfucking liar because you got caught in 3 motherfucking lies trying to debate young Pharoah, and he exposed your motherfucking ass. And as you was getting exposed, you pulled some bitch shit. You pulled some bitch shit and hired a motherfucking hacker to hack into Pharoah's computer screen to put a porno on Pharoah's computer screen to save your motherfucking embarrassment. So the debate could get canceled and save you the embarrassment. But guess what? You can't run nowhere. No. You ain't running nowhere, Sanchez. You ain't running no goddamn where.
So, this is how he feels about you, Sanchez. Is Brother Sanchez a con artist? Is he hiding behind the screen, pretending to be someone he's not? It wouldn't be the first time. We get that a lot. We get that a lot. Derrick Jones Talks Live. This part of the show, we're going to, again, get back into Brother Young Pharoah. It's Mixtape. This one right here, people, is called Dreams, off the mixtape that Young Pharoah just put out. Want you guys to check it out. It's levels to this shift. 2.
Remember it, I was a dream, but now I chase all of my dreams. I'm sipping on wine in my yeah. It was a girl in my dreams. Yeah. Froze. Okay, talking that shit like they real, but they front. Jump on the beat and go in like it's nothing. Trial was fighting that cake like it's nothing. Drunk, but I'm whipping that stuff like it's nothing. I'm sipping on wine, she smoking, she loving. I gave her a piece of the pie, she love. I finally made it out the streets. They tried to take my life from me. Okay, they couldn't get that bullet out. Yeah, but I got to chase my dream. Okay, they was trying to give us life. They almost took my life from me. Okay, they couldn't put two together. Yeah, so I got to chase my dream. Bro, I used to dream about this shit. I never saw it coming true. All I had was nightmares. Yeah, a nigga shooting coming through. I blew, tried to turn it back. Niggas thought that I was still okay. One time for the answer. Yeah, this was always coming through. Remember it, I was a dream. But now I chase all of my dreams. I'm sipping on wine in my yeah. I was a girl in my dreams. Yeah. Froze. Remember, I ain't understand. That's why I used to wonder why. They told me which one to stop. They didn't tell me that they died. Remember, I ain't want to know. Remember, I ain't want to try. I ain't want to take off. Remember, I ain't want to fly. Okay, they always say, hey, they love me. Yeah, I came fresh out of prison, I'm jumping. Yeah, when I was like, okay, yeah, my ex hit me up and she wanted. Okay, I promise I find shit funny. The thing they told me came true. I seen the bitches in my slips. Niggas showed me came true. Okay, they told me everything changed. Ain't nothing changed. With the pressure, and it don't matter if you graduate. Cause life still gon' test you. They say it's all in God's plans, but wise plans always fail. And Jesus died for our sins, while we paying for him still. Remember it, I was a dream, but now I chase all of my dreams. I'm sipping on wine in my yeah. I was a girl in my dreams. Yeah. Froze.
Dreams by Young Pharoah. Derek Jones Talks Live. Dissecting Gillz, Pharoah. Hate Deflection. Young sister killed over tax return. Just a fucking shame. And we're also doing a Young Pharoah mixtape listen while we do the stream. Now, we also just got finished discussing RFG, Chosen One, who's indicting Brother Sanchez as a fraud. He's saying that Brother Sanchez needs to be on the list, that he is out here performing what we call YouTube fuckery. Now, we don't need any more black men on YouTube pretending to be shit. It's stupid. It's fucking pointless. And at the end of the day, you're gonna get called out for that shit. It's always gonna happen as long as we're doing this over here. Now, you might hear me say things like last man standing when it comes to this HOK mess nonsense. You'll hear me say things like, I'm the only one left. Though I know I'm not the only single one left. So it's like it's a good feeling, you know? I'm not gonna lie. It's a good feeling to know that all the fake niggas have been weeded out. All the weasels, all the niggas who are just Mick opportunists. You know, people who just wanna be first at everything, you know in this shit, you know? Like, these dudes is really corny, man. Like, I really didn't think that these niggas was as corny as they are. Now, speaking of being corny, There's a particular person who got exposed a month or so ago, being completely opposite of everything he presents on YouTube TV. Now, having to use Sonetta as the source is disgusting enough, but everything he reported about this individual came out to be true, which was, again, the first time in the history of Sonettadom. Everything he came out and said about this dude was true. Now he has a new witch hunt. Hassan Campbell. Kanika well has run dry. So now he's back on the HOK tour. He's been taking flack and taking hits for the resurfacing of the audio that he was talking about Young Pharoah. Now, we did a live stream on it on Shame TV on a smaller page. I have Shame TV too. And on that page, and on that stream, excuse me, we talked about how this individual was talking about Young Pharoah in that video. Now, about a day or so ago, Hassan Bambata, aka allegedly Campbell, asked this individual, yo, why was you banging on Pharoah and now you supposedly all cool with him? And cool is not the term that I would use if you ask me. I use the phrase swinging from Pharoah's pubic hairs. That's what he does. So anyway, he was asked this question by Hassan Campbell. Basically, he was asked, hashtag, what up with that audio? We ain't even talking about the other audio with Sonetta. We talking about this audio with Young Pharoah. How come you was banging on him? So this individual gives an answer. He says, what you'll hear in the audio, he says, see, y'all New York niggas keep trying to talk about how I was banging on Pharoah and all that shit, and now we cool and blah, 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 blah. Well, I talk about it, and I ain't from New York, nigga. And I talk about it. And the reason I talk about it was because you said he was affiliated with the House of Consciousness, and the House of Consciousness were those people who were trying to silence you at the time. That was his direct statement. First off, everyone who's in this chat and who's watching this stream knows that Young Pharoah was never in the House of Consciousness as far as Sonetta's House of Consciousness. We know that Young Pharoah came around like other people do. Like, what's the kid name? Not the kid, but the brother Royale and niggas like that. Tazariak, people like that. They come around Sonetta sometimes and use his platform or whatever, but Young Pharoah was never in the House of Consciousness. That's a known fact. That's a known fact. Life is great. So that's a lie right there. You know what I'm saying? Saying that he was in the House of Consciousness. That's number one. But number two is what I want you guys to focus on. It's the most important lie, that he was a part of the people who were trying to silence me. Yo, Young Pharoah never did a video on Kev Gillz. The only time Young Pharoah ever did a video about Kev Gillz was when they were using my information from a video I put out, and all three of us got together to do a live stream, in which Polite and his whole camp flagged it and got everybody's page flagged the stream, the whole 9 yards. Okay, that's exactly what happened. But other than that, young Pharoah was not banging on the people who was banging on Polite and Sonetta. So where's the audio of that? Where was Sonetta banging on Kev? I mean, where was young Pharoah banging on Old God and them when they was banging on Sonetta? When did Pharoah make videos about them? When did Pharoah, any person who ever said the Hebrew Israelites who was banging on Sonetta, when did Pharoah do a video and say, stop banging on the Amin Ra squad and I'm Amin Ra squad up? And he never did that. And least of all, he never made a fucking video about Kev Gillz. So that's a fucking lie, nigga. Trying to say that he was a part of the people who was banging on him. Nah, nigga, you know that you really hate young Pharoah. And the only reason that you even acted like you was cool with him was because young Pharoah came to your chat to check your ass about you making videos about saying that that nigga should go to prison because he murdered somebody. Now, that's why that nigga came to your fucking chat that day. And when he came, and there's people in my chat right now who was there when he came and watched you switch up your whole style right then and there in front of him when he came and you clicked that fucking page, that icon, nigga, and it was really him. Yeah, nigga. Talking that bullshit that he was attacking, he was with the people who was attacking you to bring to sign. Young Pharoah never said nothing about you. And then until he started coming around because you was making videos about that nigga saying he need to go to prison for murder. He murdered somebody. And that's when I stepped in. And the audio, I think it's at Stone Soup TV or somebody got it, got the fucking audio where I made a video. It was like, yo, nigga, that's some fucked up shit to be saying. And there ain't no evidence that this nigga murdered nobody and using no fucking rap song, blah, 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 blah. And young Pharoah came. That's how I first interacted with that nigga. So stop that bullshit. That ain't what happened. I'm going to tell the people what really happened. Fucking lying ass nigga. This nigga said yo, Kev is a lying ass. Why you scared of Pharoah, nigga? You know you don't really like him. When I play the audio again, which y'all gonna hear again of this nigga running his mouth saying, fuck young Pharoah, you ain't shit. Did you notice when you heard that audio? Do you notice something about that audio? Do you notice, first off, he's not addressing anything that young Pharoah apparently said to him because he never said shit to him. Okay, that's number one. Number two, he's not saying anything about the House of Consciousness. He referred to the House of Consciousness for like 5 seconds, nearly at the end of what he was saying about young Pharoah. He wasn't talking about, oh, young Pharoah, I'm banging on you because you with Sonetta and he's hiding scam artists. No, that's not what he was saying at all. He didn't say anything remotely close to that. That nigga said, yo, you ain't shit. Everything you talk about ain't shit. The only reason you up there on YouTube is because you little and you got muscles and the girls like you. And that's the shit he was saying. That don't have nothing to do with, we gonna listen to this fucking clown. I'm gonna turn sideways here.
What's up with this situation here? The young Pharoah, what question do you want to know? The young, was this a subtle attack? Was the young Pharoah, he said he attacked you personally? What was this whole thing?
This audio is public audio that I'm using for research and critique purposes. Public audio, fair use. Especially for people who stream from McDonald's. McDonald's, I don't want you guys thinking I'm taking your copyright from your stream. You never spoke to me since then. I never spoke to you since then, but you had my number. You never reached out to me. You heard him. You never spoke to me since then. I never spoke to you since then, but you had. You never spoke to him since Sonetta leaked you on his show. My number. Me and you talking on roulette. I'm the dude. Sonetta leaked you talking about me on his show. You never spoke to me since then. I never spoke to you since then, but you had my number. So their relationship ended like every other relationship that Kev Gillz has with anyone. Him be doing some shady backstabbing bullshit and getting caught for it. Okay, that's how their relationship ended. He was friends with Hassan Bambaataa all the way up until the point where who? Filthy Frank strikes again. Sonetta. You an old filthy ass nigga. You a cold ass nigga though, yo. Sonetta releases audio of this dummy talking about somebody who's supposed to be. He just adjusted. Thank you, D Prince. He adjusted himself again, dumbass. You never reached out to me. You've been talking to me on a regular basis. So as far as you're going on your show, you never reached out to me. When the last time I talked to you?
Look, I mean, what's the actual time frame? I'm just saying that as if that's something to hide or something like that. Oh my Jesus.
You don't like that shit. It is true though, but I'm gonna let it continue before.
Oh my Jesus. Oh my.
There we go. So Hassan Bambaataa says when you were down, struggling to get your subscribers up, he got you up to 6,000 viewers, where you still are now. But I don't count those as viewers. This is a side note for anyone who watches YouTube, especially young kids who judge shit by thinking someone's page is popping by their subs or how many subs they got. Listen to me. If you have, it's about participation. If I have, let's say 600 subscribers to my page, let's say a person has 600 subscribers to their page, and they're putting out video content. And their average video, if you tally up their videos, and their average video views is like 380, 400. That means they have nearly 100, nearly 90% participation on their page. People enjoy their page. People come to their page. People look forward to coming to their page. When you got 6,000 subscribers and you're putting out video content and you look at this content and it has 1,000 and 1,300 and you might get a 4,000 one in here and there when you're talking about Kanika and this, that, and basically, nigga, no one's watching your shit. Shane TV has 1,000 subscribers and I get that. Over 1,000 views on shit. People enjoy the page. Triple C's page. People come to her page. For her subscriber size, people are actually engaging in her page. So don't be fooled by these YouTube tricksters. Trust me, if you trace their line, they're buying these people. These people are not real. That's why they don't show up on the view count.
Goodness. Oh my goodness. Sir. Sir. We're not talking about none of that, bro. The title of the show is, bro, did you call him out on some shit, not on when the last time I talked to you, or what you trying to make this look like, or why I couldn't call. I don't got your number, first of all. This is just a 347-364 number that just popped up in this shit, bro. I don't got your number. No, well, we were talking about a show that we can do, but I see.
There he is again. Didn't I tell y'all? He'll talk to you, he'll meet you, and he'll try to get ideas from you. And he'll take your shit, and he'll go, and he'll run off with your shit. The whole shit he's doing right now with the co-host came from a brainchild. That was a brainchild of Derek Jones Talks. You're welcome. It was a brainchild. And that's some factual shit, not some made-up Israel doctrine. He did it first shit. When he got the video from another nigga on YouTube, but he did it first. Just stupid. But anyway, yeah, no, that's some real life shit. So that's what he does. He just proven it himself. Yes, he exposes himself. He adjusts himself. You don't even have to really adjust this nigga. He'll do it himself.
So I just moved on.
Motherfuckers won't with it, so I just moved on. No, you took his whatever you got from Hassan Campbell, which is probably a part of that show that you do now, and you took that and you moved on.
And moved on with my show.
And you could take it from Bambaataa because he has a lot of Hassan Bambaataa has had a lot of things taken from him.
I typically do. But other than that, there was no, hey, bro, the real reason you want this conscious community situation.
What conscious community? You said you don't do this anymore. Why are you talking about the conscious community? Fuck you doing? Yeah. You worse than Inky with your idea stealing ass, nigga. Then you're flip-flopping. You flip-flop more than polite. You just said you ain't doing this no more. You going on to bigger and better things. Derek Jones Talks is the last man standing on this shit right here. We don't need you. We don't want you back. We don't need you interceding in the conscious community's folly. Remember, you're a Mick Aboriginal. Mexican ass nigga.
So if you would like to address that, was this a subtle attack towards Pharoah, or did he attack you, or what is this about?
That's a great question.
Hold on. Can I answer the question before you moved on? You ain't shit. Young Pharoah, you ain't shit. Pharoah, you can't black power nothing, bro. Everything you teach it is from European white authors and shit, bro. Everything you posted online, bro, it is Photoshop, bro. And you don't think we can see that shit?
Everything you saying about Pharoah has nothing to do with the HOK trying to silence you or Pharoah attempting to silence you. And you don't think we can see that shit?
You should have kept that shit local and stayed up in your little gymnasium, bro. Or Pharoah, or did he attack you, or what is this about? Hold on. Can I answer the question before you moved on? You ain't shit. Young Pharoah, you ain't shit. Pharoah, you can't black power nothing, bro. Everything you teach it is from European white
authors and shit, bro. Everything you posted online, bro, it is Photoshop, bro. And you don't think we can see that shit? You should have kept that shit local and stayed up in your little gymnasium, bro. Because now I'm gonna kill somebody. Young Pharoah did the whole commentary with no shirt on. Let you know he's appealing to only these dumb-ass black women who sitting up there in his comments talking about, yeah, just y'all take it off. That's who they're appealing to. Black people, young Pharoah can't make you no money. Young Pharoah can't teach you about no business, no real power. Because if you're going and young Pharoah, somebody will beat the shit out of you, bro. It is Photoshop, bro. And you don't think we can see that shit? You should have kept that shit local and stayed up in your little gymnasium, bro. Because
does this shit sound like a nigga? Does this shit sound like a nigga who's talking about anything that has to do with Sonetta and them silencing him? Because I don't even hear you mentioning Ahmed Rod Squad, Polite, none of that shit. Not to mention, young Pharoah has never said a goddamn thing about you or ever tried to silence your page.
Because now I'm going to kill somebody. Young Pharoah did the whole commentary with no shirt on.
And you watch.
Let you know he's appealing to only these dumb-ass black women who sitting up there in his comments talking about it.
And he appeals to dumb-ass black fake YouTubers who fucking look at niggas and say they got big butts and wear felines.
I just said, y'all take it off. That's who they're appealing to. Black people, young Pharoah can't make you no money. Young Pharoah can't teach.
And please remember, people, that
about no business, no real power.
That looking at straight drops butt, you know, also it's not gonna make you any money.
Because if you go and young Pharoah, somebody beat the shit out of you, bro. Film that shit, like world. Remember young Pharoah, the big little dude who out here talking flexion on everybody? Somebody gonna eat y'all niggas up because y'all doing too much of this and not enough work. Y'all not holding no lectures that make any more sense than you made 10 years ago. Now, young Pharoah, you have no information that's.
Now, at that point, that was the only time. That was the only time that he mentioned the House of Consciousness. And he didn't even really say it, but he was kind of referring to the House of Consciousness. But again, we all knew, everybody all knew, young Pharoah didn't have a goddamn thing to do with the House of Consciousness. Young Pharoah had his own YouTube page, his own following that was just damn near as big as Sonetta's, which is what attracted Sonetta to him in the first place. So this whole bullshit of, oh, he was with Sonetta and them. No, he wasn't. And you know he wasn't with them. That's why I ain't never banged on him, because I knew he wasn't with them niggas.
Authentic. And you are naming none of your sources. So you trying to say that what you're saying is authentic? You came up with this shit by yourself? I hope.
Yo, that's real personal hate. Yes, he's covering his tracks. That's why he took him down, because he's covering his tracks. Because he knows how that shit sounds for real. That shit don't have a motherfucking thing to do with no goddamn, nobody coming after him. Wasn't nobody, young Pharoah ain't never make no videos about you. I was waiting for you to finally address why you was doing that. And it took Hassan Bambaataa to ask her to get it out of you. And you come pull that bullshit that you pulled out of your mouth as an answer, saying that you was banging. You said all of this shit that we just listened to. You said all of that fucked up, disrespectful shit about that kid because he was with Sonetta and them, and you know damn well that he was not with Sonetta and them. You know damn well that Pharoah had his own page, because everybody knows Pharoah had his own page and wasn't with them. So that's not even, we're not even gonna pretend to be, exactly, case closed. We're not even gonna pretend to be confused now. You really hate this nigga. We're not pretending to be confused anymore. You know he was not with the House of Consciousness. Number one. Number two, he never said shit about you. He never said nothing about you. So why is all your anger directed at him? I'll tell y'all why. Because he doesn't like young Pharoah, number one. Number two, young Pharoah was what? A Tommy Sotomayor, a big name to go after. Polite is a big name to go after. Going after Polite pushed his page. That's what pushed his page, was going after Sarnetta and Polite and having videos about Sarnetta and Polite. Now, again, we thought you were doing it for the same reasons we were doing it. Now we find out that that's not the case because you yourself said that. Once you found out what it was, you and Sarnetta used to talk in the background. Right. We know what Sarnetta talks about in the back room. He stages debates. He edits shit. He pretends. He's a promoter, thespian, actor. That's what you want to be. That's why you gravitated to him, and that's why you fuck with him the way you fuck with him. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to give that bullshit cockamamie ass answer as a fucking answer to why you said all that shit you said. I'm going to just let it all play.
Film that shit like world star. Remember young Pharoah, the big little dude who out here talking Deflection on everybody? Somebody gonna eat y'all niggas up because y'all doing too much of this and not enough work. Y'all not holding no lectures that make any more sense than you made 10 years ago.
Watch. Now that small, he spent 5 seconds talking about the House of Consciousness. Then he goes back to a nigga who never said shit about him, never ever made videos dissing him or saying why you dissing Sarnetta or none of that. None of that shit.
And young Pharoah, you have no information that's authentic.
Damn.
And you are naming none of your sources. So you trying to say that what you're saying is authentic? You came up with this shit by yourself? I hope not. Oh, in the chat, shout out my nigga young Pharoah came through fucking support.
No, when you hear this, young Pharoah came through to check your boy. He came through to check this nigga on the shit that he was saying about mainly, like I said, at this time, which y'all have to, with those of you who aren't in the know, at this time, this was when Kev just was making videos about saying young Pharoah should go to prison and all that shit like that for murder, and he murdered somebody, and basically Izzy Doctrine before Izzy Doctrine, hashtag what happened to that boy. That's what Kev was doing to Pharoah. That's exactly what he was doing to him. Until I made that video like, yo, you need to chill. Because, you know, that's some serious shit. And blah, 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 blah. And young Pharoah came to this nigga's chat, and you see him switch up like a bitch-ass nigga that he is.
And y'all keep take it off, take it off. That's what they're appealing to. Black people, young Pharoah can't make you no money. Young Pharoah can't teach you about no business, no real power. Because if you're going and young Pharoah, somebody beat the shit out of you, bro. You film that shit, you like world star. You remember young Pharoah, the big little dude who out here talking Deflection on everybody? Somebody gonna eat y'all niggas up because y'all doing too much of this and not enough work. Y'all not holding no lectures that make any more sense.
Because he do the work
10 years ago. And young Pharoah, you have no information that's authentic. And you are taking none of your sources. So you trying to say that what you're saying is authentic? You came up with this shit by yourself? I hope not. Oh, in the chat, shout out my nigga young Pharoah came through fucking support.
When you hear this gentleman say what he just said, this is the moment in which this supposed apology that you're going to hear that he said to Pharoah happened. It didn't happen that way. That's why I say, guys, we're not, we've seen this movie before. We're not falling for this again.
Hold on. Can I answer the question before you move on?
Yes, we'd love to hear this.
Okay, because this is the fifth time the New York niggas trying to hang me on attacking Young Pharoah. Was Young Pharoah part of the HOK when I hit the scene?
No.
King Kush? Yes, he was. Okay.
Now, that is what you call a yes man / coon ass nigga who will do whatever and say whatever. Young Pharoah was not a part of the HOK. Young Pharoah, King Kush is the type of nigga that's still living in his aunt's basement, sucking up her Wi-Fi, being a king on YouTube, but just being Gary in real life. Has always been adamant that he is not a part of the HOK. Young Pharoah has always been clear that he had his own fan base, and it was common knowledge that Young Pharoah had his own fan base long before he was reached out to by Sarnetta in the House of Consciousness.
So when I came out, Young Pharoah was a part of the people that was maneuvering around me to shut me up.
Now, the people that he was talking about to maneuver around him and shut him up, this is who he's talking about, was none other than, this is why he really hates Pharoah, because he really was mad because Pharoah made Sarnetta mad. So when Sarnetta mad, his minions are mad.
I'm a talk forward and second when people are on guilty. Like that's what you do. Yeah. Like I ain't nobody worried about that. You ain't scared of nobody. I don't know.
So Pharoah said that Sarnetta and them niggas was scamming people and putting on fraud and tried to work him and scam him and out of his intellectual property and all of that shit like that. Now y'all know that Pharoah said that shit. He said that shit during their fallout last year or the end of last year. He said that, well, the year before last, excuse me. He said that before their fall, all that shit. The end of 16, coming into 2017, coming into last year, Pharoah was like, yo, I don't fuck with them niggas. They scam artists over there. They do this, they do that. Polite doing this. Niggas is covering for them. Niggas is doing that. So, but you just heard Gillz say as recently as December 17, meaning just recently, said that you ain't scamming nobody, which means he's taking Sarnetta's side yet again. That's why he was banging on you, Pharoah, because he never fucking liked you. He only played your music because I was playing it.
I just get the thinking halfway so we can put up a great performance and move on. Yeah, that was that. Right, that's right. Niggas just be hating at the fact that niggas can make something happen and turn a profit and the fuck. That's it. Niggas just be mad at the fact. Niggas got mad at me because niggas will say, oh, my little weak ass these days. So, that's what you got to do. You ain't shit. I'm so good. Listen up. I think we all had a bad with that song, bro. Yeah, now listen. Bro. Now listen, you gotta act like, but listen, Cam, hold on. It's between me and you. I can forgive you and already have that on that spot, but you did.
As you can see, he claims that these people were at him, Sarnetta and the HOK. But you see how he really felt about Sarnetta the whole time. He was trying to get next to him the whole time.
That's what I'm about. That's what I've been thinking, bro. All them niggas that want to keep banging, they gonna be by themselves, Kev. Them niggas gonna be by themselves. Watch. Those are fucking leeches in the community. Those are fucking I know that.
I know. Yeah. All the people who exposed Sarnetta and banged on them and Polite and all of them niggas are leeches in the community. That includes you, YP. You exposed and banged on them niggas too. And according to Kev Gillz, you are what is called a leech in the community, and he knows that now.
I know that shit already. I just figured it out. I know that shit already. I just figured it out.
He just figured it out. He figured out that exposing Sarnetta is not the thing to do. Trying to befriend him is what he should be doing.
No, it's not. We should not get rid of that, man. This whole neighborhood is that. You know what? You gave me a good idea, kid. What's up? You gave me a good idea of giving out toys for this yeah. Because we always say our children believe in a white man. See, you can see this is a for the new year. So you can see that this is free, you know what? Oh, Dad, you gave me an idea. So like for the new year, nobody gave us so like for the new year,
the most damaging audio ever.
So like for the new year, nobody gave us. But they love you when you go fucked up like that. Family, do y'all hear this? Do you hear this? But of course, Kev, you watching. I didn't want to do it to you, but every goddamn time you got my name up in your mouth. And I told you, dude. I said, Kev, don't make me unleash on you. I got all of our conversation me and you had. I got it all. Because I know how y'all niggas act. I know how y'all niggas get down. Y'all like no Pharoah part of the HOK when I hit the scene?
No.
King Kush? Yes, he was. Okay, so when I came out, young Pharoah was a part of the people that was maneuvering around me to shut me up. Little did I know, right?
So young Pharoah, it has been said that you was maneuvering around, little did he know you was maneuvering around him to set him up, to silence him.
But when young Pharoah separated himself from Filthy Frank, did I not apologize to young Pharoah?
No, that's not how it happened. I told everybody how it happened. I told everybody what you did. How young Pharoah came to check your ass and your live stream like Sarnetta did for you talking all that shit about him murdering somebody and need to go to jail and all that bullshit you was talking about him. I guess his fans was giving it back to him. And yeah, that's when your bitch ass changed up. That's when your bitch ass started sucking nuts. Typical Kev fashion.
Into a mutual agreement between two men?
No, that's not what happened. Derek Jones Talks Live. Here we are dissecting Kev Gillz' Pharoah hate deflection. You heard his lame cockamamie-ass excuse. Lame-ass excuse for saying all the hateful shit that he was saying about this brother. Now you guys heard his response and why that Pharoah was around these people. Now I want you to listen again before we go back to young Pharoah and the last song that we're gonna play. Before we do that, I want you to listen and listen closely at him literally thrash Pharoah and not mention anything about the HOK or anything that he just said about someone trying to silence him. Though young Pharoah never made a video about him.
Young Pharoah, you ain't shit. Pharoah, you can't black power nothing, bro. Everything you teaching is from European white authors and shit, bro. Everything you posting online, bro, is Photoshop, bro. And you don't think we can see that shit? You should have kept that shit local and stayed up in your little gymnasium, bro. Because now I'm gonna kill somebody. Young Pharoah did the whole commentary with no shirt on. Let you know he's appealing to Only these dumb-ass black women who sitting up there in his comments talking about, yeah, just y'all take it off, take it off. That's what they're appealing to. Black people, young Pharoah can't make you no money. Young Pharoah can't teach you about no business, no real power.
Because if young Pharoah was smart, he would be streaming off of McDonald's too. You know?
You going and young Pharoah, somebody beat the shit out of you, bro. Film that shit, like world star. You remember young Pharoah, the big little dude who out here talking Deflection on everybody? Somebody gonna eat y'all niggas up because y'all doing too much of this and not enough work. Y'all not holding no lectures that make any more sense than you made 10 years ago. And young Pharoah, you have no information.
Especially young Pharoah.
And you are naming none of your sources. So you trying to say that what you're saying is authentic? You came up with this shit by yourself?
Derek Jones Talks Live, you heard it. There was nothing in there that would lead any sane, rational, reasonable, logical, competent adult to think that that just hate-laced tirade had anything to do with Pharoah attempting to silence Kev Gillz' YouTube platform. Though young Pharoah never made a fucking video about him, let alone a video attempting to silence Kev Gillz' platform. This next song that we're going to play, which is the last one, off young Pharoah's mixtape, Almost Took My Soul From Me. It's levels to this shift, too.
I was in the streets out on that block, but I was supposed to be okay. I trust these women. Okay. Niggas snake me, I was scared to keep them close, Living in them streets, I swear they almost took my soul, Letting off 100 rounds, thought I was close, Trying to down 100 pounds, it must have go, Detectives at my house, they knocking at the door, Living in them streets, I swear they almost took my soul, 5 years probation, I was 16, it was damage, okay. Every Thursday was avoiding some insanity, okay. My nigga Iris saved my life, he stayed right next to me. A few months later, he took his life, he died right next to me. Motherfucker, I'm from Buffalo. Crazy deal on some evil shit. If you don't die from a bullet, you gon' damn near freeze it down. Trying to hustle in the winter, stash abundance in the yard. I couldn't even sell a shit. The we was froze to the job. I was just a little boy. That's when the demons first happened. Now I looked me in my eyes. Pushed down my mom, she died. I was 8 years old. Wondering who my real mother. Thought I'm always with my cousin. Thought he was my real brother. I was in the streets out on that block. Thought I was supposed to be okay. Okay, my niggas make me, I was scared to keep them close, Living in them streets, I swear they almost took my soul, Letting off 100 rounds, thought I was bold, Trying to down 100 pounds, it was the goal, Detectives at my house, they knocking at the door, Living in them streets, I swear they almost took my soul, and I can't even count all of the times they tried to murder me, but you was old enough to join the army, I had murdered me. They flash my picture, asking niggas have they heard ya. I done been in ICs, I done been in service, I done been in SANCHEZ, for the crew we serve. Tell me what my cousin said he in here for a burglary. Won't see this in no video, this really how we living though. Ain't good to finish school, I got kicked out by my principal, bro. I don't do this for the fame, man. I'm just here to keep it real with y'all. We ain't had no one to love us, we ain't had no one to feel for. Strangers treat us like we family, our own family getting cared for. That's what these streets had to hold them. They really almost took my soul. I was in them streets out on that block, thought I was supposed to be okay. I trust these women, I ain't never keep them close to me. Okay, my niggas make me, I was scared to keep them close, Living in them streets, I swear they almost took my soul, Letting off 100 rounds, thought I was bold, Trying to down 100 pounds, it was the goal, Detectives at my house, they knocking.
Derek Jones Talks Live. It's time to switch gears. Today we've talked about RFG, the chosen one. and his accusations against Brother Sanchez. Yo, y'all niggas bug, yo. Y'all bugging, G. No bullshit. Like, y'all niggas bugging. We talked about RG, the chosen one, and his accusations against Brother Sanchez. We talked about Deflection, dissecting Gillz Pharoah hate deflection. I don't need to listen to your whole live stream that you and Hassan Bambata are pretending to do whatever y'all pretending to do to get traction and people to your page. Fuck the both of you niggas. I'm just going to take that bullshit answer that you gave finally to the question. We're still waiting on the answer to all that Sonetta audio. Love to hear that shit. Moving on. Switching gears. Everyone knows around this time of year what happens. Well, it's pretty much gone now. Well, not necessarily gone, but well, income tax is pretty much come and gone. Everybody's got their bread and done whatever they was going to do with it, you know. So, at any rate, a lot of the times we're excited. Some of us who get it, who actually work to get something back, and who, however you get it, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to knock you on that because life is harsh. So, get it how you get it, nigga. But anyway, there were some of us get so excited that we talk to our friends about it. We talk to our coworkers about the shit. A lot of the times people hear us talking because we're planning things, you know. Some people use that shit in a smart way and get themselves back on track, you know, if they were off track. You know, if you were having car trouble and things of that nature, you get yourself back on track. You know, if you had all your bills paid and your car is ready and everything's going good, now you get it. Now you got a little extra money where now you can actually relax to a degree. You know, you could just work and just maintain and have a little something put away for when the summer comes. You can travel and however people do it. So anyway, at this time, you got a lot of sisters who are trying to get their rides, you know. Like, if I wanted to do a poll one day of like how many out of men, women in each community who buys a car the most during tax time, and I think it's sisters. Like every sister you see them, they zooming around, nigga, with them 30s on. So it's like it's a time for them to get themselves on track, you know. And spring is coming and all that. A lot of people don't want to be in debt coming into the summer because then you can't really enjoy yourself. So anyway, I'm gonna share for a second. Before we go, I want to read this real quick. Okay. I wanted you guys to be able to see it and still be able to read it. All right. Can everybody see it? Are we good? We should be good. Okay. It's about a young sister. I think they're in Pennsylvania. And her name was Kiana Davis. All right, so here we go. While you guys are out making jokes about tax money, it's people out here for real, in real life, getting killed about their own taxes. Was going out, a shout out to Kiana Tui Davis, was set up by a coworker to get robbed and killed for her $7,000 refund. 7,000 measly ass fucking dollars. All right. It's in Wilkinsburg, Pennsylvania. Homicide charges have been filed against 3 people accused of shooting and killing a young mother in Wilkinsburg Thursday afternoon. Warrants were filed late Friday for Leah Alana Whitley, 21, Dane James Taylor, 21, and Cajun Xavier Scott, 23. The medical examiner identified the victim as Kiana Davis, 28, of Wilkinsburg. Police believe the motive was robbery. According to the court documents, Davis had received her tax return the day of her death. Her co-worker and suspect, Layla Whitley, apparently texted Dane Taylor telling him about the money. In the text messages, dumbasses, Whitley allegedly tells Taylor, that girl at my job brought 7, well, she says brought 7 bands to work. Ain't that some shit? Over an hour later, the next text from Taylor to Whitley says, it's a go, delete all these texts. Police say the third suspect, Cajun Scott, told them he was the one who picked up Taylor. Okay, so he's the one who picked this nigga up. The girl, Layla Whitley, is the one who was working with this young woman, okay? So she was with her, heard about it or whatever. So she's the one who texts the dude, Taylor, Dane Taylor. So apparently he didn't have a way, but he had a pistol, but he didn't have a way. And apparently he wasn't at work enough and just fucking off somewhere being weird. So he called Xavier Scott, Cajun Xavier Scott, and he came, I guess, had a ride and picked this nigga up. Okay? So Scott claimed Taylor told him he needed to see a girl to pick up some money. Taylor directed him to drive to Dollar General, okay, and park in the rear of the building. Scott said while waiting, he got out of the car at one point to urinate next to an abandoned home. When he got back in the car, Scott said Taylor was wearing a mask on his face and had a gun in his hand. Scott told police Taylor received a text on his phone which said, go. At that point, he followed Taylor's directions, leading them to the victim. Davis walking up, this is Kiana Davis, excuse me. Okay. This is Kiana Davis, okay, that they're talking about. She's walking, she's left work, basically. Okay, she's basically left work. So he gets a text from Layla telling him, the dude Dane gets the text from Layla telling him, go. Okay? So anyway, at that point, he followed Taylor's directions, leading them to the victim, Davis, Kiana Davis, walking up Laketon Road. Scott was told to pull ahead of the victim, get out, and pretend to be fixing the car. Okay, this is what he was told. And he's doing this shit. Now, mind you, he's older than this nigga. So I'm not buying none of that bullshit. But anyway, police say that's when Taylor got out and chased the victim toward an open lot. After she fell to the ground, a struggle ensued, and Taylor is accused of firing shots at her before running back to the car with her purse. For a side note, she did not have $7,000 on her. Someone brought her $3,000 to her job, and that's how Layla Whitley found out about the money. Shaking my head, $800 was given to Cajun, Scott, and Taylor was the best. And, yo, this shit is, she didn't even have the money on her. She didn't even have the money. This is her right here, a mother, someone's daughter, somebody's cousin, someone's best friend who they go clubbing with and chill with and hang out and their kids play together and shit. That's who she is. working at a little bullshit ass Dollar General so that she could keep money in her pocket, pay her little bills, take care of her children, get her little return, and these two fuck niggas sitting around basically doing absolutely nothing. Follow this young woman all the way home, or follow this woman from her job, where she probably had $3,000 brought to her for some specific reason, probably was on her way to clear up her fines so she could get her license or do something other than get robbed and murdered, and now basically leave her children out here because of some simpleton ass fuck niggas. Derek Jones Talks Live. We're going to take a small break. Peace, people. Welcome back. Yeah, that was real disgusting. That's something that's actually not. I don't understand how a person could do some shit like that. But it just shows you what I mean, guys, by the nature of people. Like, people always present some shit to you. But who they really are, man, a lot of the times they're not telling us that. They deserve everything they get for that. You had this nigga, you had these dudes sitting outside waiting behind a Dollar General, waiting behind a store to murder this girl over $3,000. You didn't even have even if you got the $7,000, you didn't even have a specific plan for that. You was gonna go fuck that off somewhere. Both of them. They were gonna go, all of them. They were gonna go fuck that money off somewhere. Which is what they did before they got caught. This is disgusting, man. If you niggas was sitting around doing your own thing, you wouldn't have to be worried about her fucking bread. The other one showing her, the girl Layla, showing her coworkers, showing her fucking degenerate ass nature. Like, yo, what you mean shaking your head? She brought money to work. It's none of your fucking business, yo. My business is none of yours, and yours is none of mine. And if you hear me say something by happenstance or just in passing or whatever, like, yo, it's still none of your fucking business. Tell you one thing, this whole culture, man, that's why I say about the jumping, they all condone this shit. They call this getting caught slipping. How come you ain't never catching these Europeans like that, though? Slipping. Always one of us, somebody just trying to move up in the fucking world. Derek Jones Talks Live. Dissecting Gillz, Pharoah hate deflection, which we did tonight. We openly, we finally got an answer to the question of why was Gillz talking shit about young Pharoah so hard, and then all of a sudden wasn't anymore. And the answer that he gave, we dissected it word for word and found out that it was a complete lie. And listening to the audio that was played, in which he talks about Pharoah, you would hear that he never even mentions any of the things that he said were the reasons why he was talking about Pharoah. It was completely different reasons, personal reasons, especially when he was trying to get Pharoah put in jail. But also we talked about RFG, the chosen one, who is accusing Brother Sanchez, yes, Brother Sanchez, who wears the Alabama hat, of being basically a Kev Gillz South, you know, a fraud, someone who's full of shit. And I'm not saying that you are, Brother Sanchez. I'm saying this is what this kid is presenting to the world, his brother, Chosen One, RFG. So we'd love to hear what you have to say about that, because he's not just saying it to say it. He's saying it from a position of saying that he knows you personally and that he's saying these things because this fits perfectly in line with who he found out that you were in dealing with you. So we'd love to hear that. We also were listening to Young Pharoah's mixtape tonight throughout the show. So go to YouTube, Young Pharoah. You can check that out and listen, support the dude, man. Like I said, I support anybody who's trying to do something and they actually use their time and energy to try to do that something. So I'm always going to support that shit. Derek Jones Talks Live. Please, guys, we've seen this movie again. Don't get fooled by these fuck niggas who get caught, especially when they already been caught being contradictory to shit they've already said. You gotta hold them to their feet to the fire. You gotta address that shit. You have to do that shit. You have to. You have to. Because anything that you let slide, they're gonna count it as a victory, and you're gonna keep getting snaked by these people in the future. Peace.